2 years ago, the Tour de France was supposed to arrive in Tignes, a supposedly once-in-a-generation event weather-wise, put paid to that. A once-in-a-generation bike performance saw Tadej Pogačar start the 9th stage in the yellow jersey. His first day of defence would see 145 kilometres between Cluses and Tignes. Some epic climbs along the way. Col du Pré, Cormet de Roseland, and then the 21-kilometre climb, the longest of this Tour de France, all the way to 2,100 metres. The weather was poor again, but this time there'd be all sorts of action on the road, going all the way to the finish line. Wout Poels was the first to light up the day. He'd be going and fighting for points in the King of the Mountains jersey with Nairo Quintana. Over 40 riders were up the road at this point. They'd soon settle on 6 at the front. Quintana already trying to make it more selective with 65 kilometres to go. Quintana took points in the King of the Mountains jersey and eventually the polka dot jersey itself. He'd find himself as part of a trio leading the race. Ben O'Connor of Âge d'Isère alongside Sergio Higuita with him. Meanwhile, a good 8.5 minutes back, there was a danger that Tadej Pogačar could lose the yellow jersey. That's because O'Connor had started the day at 8 minutes and 13 seconds. UAE Emirates seemed very content to work to try and keep their boss in the yellow, but only after a very worrying moment for Brandon McNulty. Onto the final climb of the day, Quintana was the first to be dropped. O'Connor would then attack. Higuita in trouble. Pogačar ready for action. Higuita would be dropped. And with 17 kilometres still to ride to the line, Ben O'Connor was going in search of a stage win and an unlikely stint in the yellow jersey. That is until Ineos Grenadiers managed to go to work. Pogačar by this point isolated. They brought the gap down, however. O'Connor was no longer a yellow jersey danger. Carapaz attacked. He was brought back. Pogačar went. And just like the day before, they wouldn't see him again. The Slovenian looking like he was on another planet. Nobody able to be near him. And even more, the yellow jersey leader at the end of the day. For Ben O'Connor, all the way from Perth in Australia, he arrived in the Alps and became a Tour de France stage winner. He'd also move up into second place in the general classification. A 20th stage victory down the years for Âge d'Isère Citroën. In the meantime, Vingegaard and Kelderman struggling to hold on. Half a minute up the road, Tadej Pogačar was adding more time to his Tour de France lead. And at the end of a fascinating, intriguing and entertaining first week, they'd all be fighting for everything they could have. Carapaz came across the line, Kelderman losing a little bit, Gaudu also left behind. The day belonged to Ben O'Connor and Âge d'Isère Citroën. He'd win by 5 minutes over his nearest rival. Catania in second, Colbrelli in third place, taking points in the green jersey classification. Tadej Pogačar, day 2 in the yellow jersey of this particular Tour de France. The defending champion, just 22 years of age, looking like he was practicing a different sport. His lead 2 minutes, 1 second over O'Connor, 5:18 over Uran, a long way back too to Vingegaard and Carapaz, making up the top 5. Gaudu now 10th at 7 minutes and 22 seconds. We're on the end of the first week. Nairo Quintana is in the polka dot jersey, however. The change of the day, seeing Quintana target a new competition. After a rest day in Tignes, the peloton will then head back onto their bikes and head back down into the valley. 9 stages in, will anybody be able to put Tadej Pogačar in trouble? We'll find out when the Tour de France resumes on Tuesday.